thanks for tuning in to another great program here of Table Talk. I'm the host, Chad Hall. Having a few technical difficulties today, but we're going to finally get this show started. And I got a couple of gentlemen joining me that you're probably going to recognize, and that's Chief Fincher and Sheriff Davis. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
A little technical. Y'all guys don't ever deal with technical problems, do you?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Seems like all mine came today. So, well, Sheriff, again, congratulations on being elected. I wouldn't say re-elected, but being elected for the sheriff's candidates. But kind of walk me through now. The last time you were on the show, Sheriff, you were campaigning / running the sheriff's office a whole lot on your shoulders, but now some of that's got to be a relief.
Yeah, with the campaign behind us and the election done, we can focus exclusively on getting to work and serving this community, making it the best place possible.
You know, I've talked to a lot of folks, and Chief, you might even can jump in here. Since you've been appointed the sheriff, man, I don't know if anything has went right for you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but you've been hit from every angle. And that's been, tell me, was that a good learning experience, or was you prepared for that type of start?
Well, I don't know that we were prepared for that type of start, but the good Lord blessed us. You know, we have a great team at the sheriff's office.
Yeah,
we have
you
great
do.
working relationships with our surrounding agencies like the City Police Department, Chief Fincher, and through that team, the experience that we had and our great working relationships, we got it done.
Yeah, and you did that for sure. And, you know, we were kind of sharing as we were having our technical problems. This guy, man, he's got this fancy little thing he's riding in the parade, and we can't get our buddies to buy one of them. Now, what was that thing you were riding around on?
So it's called a Tour-V, and it's actually an acronym. It's the Ultimate Off-Road Electric Vehicle. And the way we were able to get it was through a grant from the governor's office. That was, you know, one of the pieces of equipment that I wanted to showcase because it was a product that's made here in Henry County.
Right.
You know, and so anytime that we can kind of put forth, sell, or promote Martinsville and Henry County, I'm all for it. You know, that's so that's the reason for showcasing it in the parade, was to kind of show the public, like, hey, these great things are being made right here in our own back door.
Yeah, and you got a new electric car as well, is that?
Well, hybrid, yes.
Hybrid, yeah, hybrid.
And that actually came out of necessity, and the fact that it's really hard to get police cars right now. When the automakers went on strike here recently, the plants that they went on strike on were the ones that made law enforcement vehicles, both in GM and Ford.
Okay, wow.
And so the backlog on cars is difficult, and we're still short cars from the year before. So a dealership called me and said, hey, we have something available. And I'm like, why not? Let's try it. So it may work out, it may not. I don't know. It's something we're testing to see. So hopefully it'll work out, and it'll be something that will actually be a benefit, you know, saving a little bit of fuel in the process.
Now, when you're talking about cars, you know, I spoke with Mr. Dotson as well. You guys are 6 or 7 shy yourself.
Yeah, we're borderline what I call a car crisis.
Right.
So, you know, we've got a number of vehicles been on order for over a year. We have a substantial amount of funds in our budget to spend right now, but we can't even spend that money because we're told there's no availability in police package vehicles. So Ford told us can't order anymore, won't see them until 2025. Chevrolet told us won't see any until 2025. So we put out a search just last week to replace a couple cars, and there were 2 law enforcement vehicles in the entire state for sale, and they were Chevrolet Silverado pickups. So, as he said, out of necessity, we had to purchase those vehicles. That's all that was available.
Wow.
Never seen anything like it.
Now, that's really odd because, man, you would think these guys would jump on building some cars. The demand, you guys are needing some. You know, we're not the only county that needs them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I imagine that part of it is the fact that I think their profit margin's a whole lot less for law enforcement, because what we buy cars at is cheaper than what you can buy, the public can buy
And
them
it
at.
should be, yeah.
But they are different. The reason why we have to get the police package ones is not so much things that it's not like it's necessarily a faster engine, although sometimes that does include with it. But it's things more of like a larger alternator, a different battery system, because our cars go through such a demand on them as far as electronics and stuff goes.
Sure.
Because with all the lights, the sirens, but the computers that we have mounted in our cars, all of our cars, there's 2 have modems in them that have to constantly communicate with dispatch. There's a lot of equipment that goes in there. So it needs like these heavy-duty alternators and stuff, and that's why we can't just generally use any car off the road to put it out on the street.
Well, then you got to factor in when you get your car, what you got to do to get all the computer stuff in it. That's done in-house, right? Some of it?
Here locally, we have local people that do that.
So they set it up with everything you're kind of talking about.
Yes,
So that's another expense.
The rear seats are removed, cages are put in, well, we call them a cage, it's just a shield, basically. The rear door panels are removed to put slick door panels on it, so that way someone can't just open the door and get out, let themselves out and run. We have to put the solid seats for protection for not only the person that's in the back, but also the officer. But at the whole time, still maintaining security for them toward that if we're in a car wreck, they're going to be protected. That's all matters. And cameras installed in those back seats as well, too.
Right. And I tell you what, I've seen some of the setups in these cars, and it's a lot going on. I mean, a whole lot going on. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us again. We're talking with the chief and the sheriff here. Guys, we just come off a great parade, and I thought that was a great turnout. Weather was pretty good, and all the kids were gathered around. And again, Sheriff, you had to walk that thing. This guy, he got to ride it. So tell me your thoughts on the parade.
So that was my first parade as sheriff, and I thought it was really great to see the community turn out. There were so many people there, and to see the families there together and the kids having fun, really enjoying it. It was really a great experience for me.
We always love to see the color guards and all of that come through. It just shows, to me, honor and respect, and it almost shows to me power. Community that's together, seeing these guys walk together. And maybe not, but to me, it's a representation of power of the greatest country in the world.
Well, both of our honor guards, they're volunteer groups that we don't assign officers to say, hey, you're going to do this. These officers that are doing the honor guard and the color guard, they volunteer for it. They are the ones that can't, put their name up saying, I want to do this. A lot of them are military veterans, or for some reason this is of great importance to them. And the color guard is just one aspect of what they do. They're also the members of the honor guard, which their job is to do funeral rites and pay their respect to fallen officers, but also at ceremonies such as graduations and at the racetrack, the open of the race. What better way to showcase Martinsville and Henry County than have our people presenting the flag out to the fans?
Now, I love it. I really do. Now, let's talk a little bit about, things in the city. Chief, you got a lot going on as well. Let's let the folks know at home overall where you feel the city is and how things are right now in the city going into the holidays.
I see a great future for both the city and the county. I think for a while that we were focusing on certain aspects as far as financials goes, and it's still going to be a struggle financially in the city and in the county, just this whole part of the state. But that's true everywhere. Right. And so I think that both of our organizations, both our governments are really focused on developing this area. And from what I hear, that there are some great plans in the works for Martinsville and Henry County. And that I think by us all working together, we're really going to advance this community. I have very high hopes for this area.
Well, I think I think we're all pretty invested in the community here.
Yes.
I mean, you've been in law enforcement here how long?
I'm working on my 30th year.
And you're 20 plus?
January will be 24 for me.
24, and I've been here for 52 years. So I'm not going anywhere, that's for sure. So your thoughts is kind of the same question, Sheriff, to you about the county.
I feel good about the future of the county. We have a great county here. We got a lot of great people here. Back last month, we had a minor influx of violent crime. We took a little beating in the media over that. Mm-hmm. But what I'd like to remind the community is this really is a safe place to live. Those weren't random acts of violence. Many of those were domestic related incidents, and we just unfortunately can't proactively police domestic violence And what we do is we do encourage those people to seek out the resources to get themselves away from that situation. But overall, Martinsville and Henry County is a very safe place to live, and we'll continue to work and ensure that that continues. Not only is it safe for our citizens, but that's an economic development factor as well. You know, if you're going to bring a multi-million-dollar company here, you're going to look at that community
Sure.
to see
Yeah, that's right.
what assets are available to you in your law enforcement agencies to ensure that you keep that business safe and provide a good quality of life for your employees.
Yeah, guys, help me if I'm wrong, but a lot of folks may not understand this because they're not where you guys are, even maybe the media side. But a lot of this stuff we're seeing is just people coming through our community. They don't actually live here.
We have really seen an influx of crime that's being committed by outside perpetrators.
Right.
That are either passing through or coming into this area to specifically target it. That a lot of people that are planning on doing criminal activity, they know that they're going to be recognized in their hometown. Right. So let's go to the neighboring town and do it. So that's why it's so important, like in our situation, for us to have such a good working relationship, because our city and county line, people don't know where that's at. Right. You know, they're gonna just go from one to the next. So we have to work closely together in order to be effective in that, because people will live in the city, commit crime in the county, or people live in the county and commit crime in the city. They don't know the difference. Right. And so we have to work closely to make certain that we, help do everything we can to kind of put a stop to it.
The chief is spot on about that. The person committing the crime doesn't care whether it's in the city of Martinsville, Henry County, or even in Virginia. You know, we border North Carolina, so we have to work closely with all our agencies surrounding us, because if we don't get things done for the community.
Well, and again, I think a lot of folks don't understand that people are smart enough to target an area and drive through it. And now that's a seasoned criminal for sure, but I mean, we see that a lot here, you know. And then again, how do you police that? You can't.
It's difficult, but we believe that we can really make a difference in crime by really focusing on a couple of avenues. For one, of course, community engagement, getting the citizens involved. We can't do the job without the citizens, but also really focusing on what we refer to as intelligence-led policing, whereas that we're using crime data statistics to help analyze and predict areas of crime. That's something that we're really, trying to work on as far as some of our repeat type crimes, things such as shoplifting, that sort of element. That I remember our crime analyst was really excited when we first started in this, and she had come up with the numbers and said, I think at 3 o'clock there's going to be a shoplifting at this particular pharmacy, based on all the other trends of what's occurred in the past. So now it's difficult, though, when we go there at 3 o'clock and have officers stationed there and the crime doesn't occur, or we do, sometimes we catch them, but sometimes it just prevents the crime. So it's hard to measure crime that's prevented.
Right.
It's easy to measure outputs as far as this crime occurred, but the stuff where we've actually prevented things, it's tough to put a number on that. But we believe that we are having an impact. And the reason being, and I can tell you both with Martinsville and Henry County, when you look at the other areas in Virginia and other areas across this nation, this year is a large increase in crime. You haven't seen that in Martinsville and Henry County. We've had some increase in crime, like in Martinsville, we've had an uptick in violent crime, right, but our overall crime numbers are still down. Same thing with Henry County. There's little pockets that have had little increases, but for the most part, really combating well. That you compare it to the other areas and other surrounding cities and counties, our numbers are not up like what other increases are showing in other areas.
And that's just the good Lord blessing us and good hard work from you guys and your staff.
It's that and the community coming together, because that's one thing that we have really noticed in my career, and I'm sure Sheriff Davis has seen the same. When we really fight crime is when the citizens say, that's enough, we don't want this in our neighborhood.
Right.
It's just like the latest, we had with our large-scale RICO case that's still ongoing, still doing work towards that. That's because we had citizens come forward and said, I'm tired of this. I want to put an end to this poison coming into our area. And Sheriff Davis had a term that he's coined there that I don't know if he realizes how viral this went, but him referring to them as poison pushers. I've had so many people, poison peddlers, yes. I've had so many chiefs from other areas said, hey, can you ask them if I can use that? They love that term, but that's exactly right. That's what it is. It's poison that's been put out in our communities, and our citizens have had enough. They deserve better, and we're fighting together to make certain that is put an end to.
And I'm seeing a difference. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And thanks for tuning in again. Guys, again, I can't say enough for the poison peddlers. Is that the right
Yes, that's
phrase?
the right term, yes.
Getting the poison peddlers off of the streets. And I've always said this, and like I said, I've been doing this for 23 years, with different chiefs. I think you're about my third or fourth chief I can remember. Luckily, you're only the second sheriff I can deal with, so that's pretty good. No, you're the third one. I forgot. I had Castle, Lane, then you. Okay, my bad. 3. But through the years, it's looked like Henry County and Martinsville was an intersection for the peddlers to bring through here. And I mean, you guys have done a great job cleaning the streets up. Now, you said a key word a while ago, the people were getting tired of it.
Yes.
People are getting tired of it. They're seeing their kids, getting drugs on the street or in school or wherever it shouldn't be. How can the community get more involved to help your job even be easier?
There's very few people in Martinsville and Henry County who don't have a story about how drugs have affected their lives. Myself included. I lost a sister to a drug overdose in 2013. There's so many stories like that across this community. And as we've really launched this war on drug dealers here in Martinsville and Henry County, we've had a substantial uptick in anonymous complaints, either through the Martinsville Henry County Crime Stoppers program, through our new Citizen Connect. And, that's something we hadn't dealt with before. We get the occasional tip. But like Chief Fincher said, people are really tired of it.
Yeah.
And, they see that we're listening to their concerns, and they see that we're going to work diligently to help solve this problem. So they're really providing this information. In fact, we've had such an uptick in complaints that we've never had this issue before. We now had to basically implement a case management system to prioritize these so we can get to them, which is a great issue. That we have so many that we need to work through them to get to. And we're pleased to have that information. We want that in community involvement. The one thing I would ask is for our citizens to not get directly involved.
Right.
Be a good witness and provide the information, but don't try to intervene in these things yourself, even if they see a drug deal. We've had that happen. Last thing we want is our community to put themselves at risk. That's our job. That's what we get paid for.
And that's a very good statement, because a lot of times you see something going down, you want to be a hero. Don't be a hero. That you guys are trained for this. Don't be a hero.
I have a clear message for the drug dealers in Henry County, and that's you got 2 choices. You can stop selling drugs or you can move. If not, we're coming.
He said that more than once. That's about the third or fourth time we got him on record. And and I like it. We got to get this mess out of here. I got grandkids growing up. My kids are already grown up. But now as a grandpa, thinking about that generation, if we don't get a halt to it now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know you guys, you feel like sometimes you got your hands tied behind your back because the court system can let them go as easy as you cuff them. But I think even that's going to get better.
Well, it will, because you got to remember that the biggest thing of our court system is the people. Right. The people are the juries. And, that's one of the things that getting that community involvement where that they want to put an end to it. Well, if they serve on a jury, they'll put an end to it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a real strong point. Yeah. And again, I know a lot of folks are probably like the 3 of us, or you said it, probably everybody has been affected somewhere with this. What was the term again?
Poison peddlers.
Poison peddlers. Yes. That is a good one. I like
it is.
That. I might have to steal that too. Well, guys, we're running out of time, but I don't know if I'll ever run you 2 fellers back down before the holidays. And holidays, talking about some people riding through cars and a little bit of mischief, or things are not as good as it should be and needing to make a quick hit. Holidays is a prime example of that. What can people be looking for through the holidays to keep themselves safe from being a victim?
Well, you want to?
One of the first issues I'd like to address is porch pirates. So we've noticed an uptick in that in the last couple of weeks. So we really encourage people to have those packages delivered somewhere safe. If you can deliver them to your place of employment or otherwise, but if you deliver these high dollar items to your home, such as video game systems and things like that, we've had some of those get stolen. So we really want to be on the lookout for porch pirates. We encourage people to be a good neighbor. You know, if you see packages on the neighbor's porch, work out an agreement where you can get that off. You know, that's one of the biggest things we need to combat through the holiday season. You know, with everybody getting the package from Amazon and UPS and
Weekly,
FedEx,
yeah.
we have people in this community who ride around and look to steal those packages. So you need to be aware of that.
And that's easy picking.
Yes.
Somebody working. Yeah, easy picking.
There's starting to be more and more of these locations that are set where you can have packages delivered to through the company. He mentioned specifically Amazon. I know of at least 3 in Henry County where you can choose to have a package delivered to that location, and then you're given a code, you go there, hit a button, it's like a locker that opens up, that's where you can get your package. That's definitely a whole lot more secure than having it delivered to an abandoned porch where the house is empty while you're at work all day. But as far as holidays go, another thing I want to mention is just the fact of packages left in cars, or even in shopping carts, where we see a lot of larcenies. We see larcenies of phones, but also wallets and purses, where people will put their, ladies will put their purse in their shopping cart, and then they're looking at other things, buying items, not necessarily focusing on the shopping cart, and someone comes along and lift a cell phone or a wallet or something out of that. Now, fortunately, most of our retail businesses around here do have cameras, but you know, it doesn't cover all angles. So it's best to think proactively and not become a victim or open yourself up to be a victim than try to solve a crime later. Crime prevention is so much better than solving crime. So, you know, don't leave your packages in your car unattended to where that they're easily seen. Make certain your doors are locked. Make certain that you know, you have the packages hidden in the trunk or something of that nature so they can't be seen. You know, some people are like, oh, I'll leave my car doors unlocked because I don't want them breaking out a window. There's very few circumstances of that ever happening. That is so rare that you are more likely to be a victim if you leave your car unlocked.
Wow. Makes sense, though. Well, gentlemen, we're out of time. I want to thank you for coming, and want to wish both of you guys and your family a Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
And I'm sure we'll get into 2024, and I'm going to try to track y'all down in December, maybe to do one more show, but if not, we'll hit it back in January 2024.
Sounds good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And we want to thank you as well for tuning in, and again, want to wish you and yours a Merry Christmas as well. I want you to stay tuned. There's more great programming coming up next.